This is Freedom Global News.
House of Representatives to convene Summit on Tertiary Education. Academic Staff Union of Universities protests half salary as they declare lecture fee.
Global News.
Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says subsidy on petrol is no longer sustainable. And on the foreign scene, United States and China seek to avoid conflict in hours-long summit discussions. Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 19.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa, and today's the 14th of December 2022, which is equivalent to the 19th of February of 1444 after Hijri. Now the news in full. The House of Representatives has resolved to convene a summit on tertiary education as part of efforts to prefer solution to the myriads of problems that bedevil the nation's institutions of higher learning. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbadagbemila, said this at the resumption of plenary in Abuja today. According to him, the House will convene a national summit on tertiary education reform on November 22nd and 23rd. So the summit is an opportunity to begin the long overdue national conversation about the future of public tertiary education in Nigeria. He said scholars, tertiary education administrators, and local and international stakeholders have been invited to submit papers on the theme of the summit. The theme, according to him, is reimagining tertiary education in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and solutions, and other sub-themes provided for in the call for memoranda. He said the presentation and submissions would inform the policy recommendations of the summit and be published in a journal for policy action and academic reference. Meanwhile, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has concluded plans to embark on a one-day nationwide protest over the payment of half salaries to lecturers by the federal government in October. As the National President, Professor Emmanuel Siddiqui, confirmed the development to Channels Television today. According to him, the planned protest was organized at the branch levels of ASU nationwide, and each branch of the academic union would choose their dates. ASU noted that the action is necessary to protest the no work, no pay policy for lecturers activated by the federal government. Meanwhile, the chairperson of ASU at the Federal University, Colonel Professor Hauwa confirmed the development, and he said the university will go on the sit-at-home protest on Thursday, 17th November, urging all members to participate. Last week, ASU slammed the federal government over the payment of half salaries to lecturers in October. The Nigerian Police Force Command said it will work hand in hand with security agencies and other stakeholders as well as vigilante groups in different neighborhoods to bring peace and order to the state. The newly appointed State Commissioner of Police, Mamman Dauda, stated this to Newsman today as he resumed office. The commissioner said that he will make sure the Colonel Command works effectively and efficiently in discharging their duties.
In our effort to effectively police Kano State, we have mapped out strategies that are based on giving full effect to the concept of citizen-led policy by deepening the implementation of community policy strategy, addressing ethical and professional issues that impact on trust and partnership.
He further noted that the command, as part of its mission, will be the implementation of community policy as well as strengthening communication unit of the command for the prevention of crimes, among others. And on the sporting arena, former acting president of Nigeria Football Federation, NFF Chief Mike Ume, has charged the nation's soccer governing body to improve on the mistake. Thomas and Back has details of this and other sports updates.
Chief Mike Ume, who spoke on Sport Vile on Channels TV yesterday, said that the current Nigeria Football Federation President Ibrahim Musa Gusau must ensure the Nigeria Professional Football League gets better. He noted that without a strong league, the nation football cannot grow. Ume also asked corporate bodies to invest in the league, insisting that without money, the league won't be solid. In another update, Nigeria's hurdles queen, Toby Amusan, made the final 5 shortlist for the Women's World Athlete of the Year award. Amusan Hassan is the only African who made the cut for the prestigious individual award. She will contest the award with Jamaica Shelley Anna Fraser Prize, Sydney McLaughlin of USA, Peru's Kimbali Garcia, and the Yulima Royals of Venezuela. Meanwhile, Manchester United and Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo has likely played his last game for the club. The 37-year-old, in an exclusive interview yesterday, said that he feels betrayed by the club and has no respect for manager Erik ten Hag. According to Sky Sport, Ten Hag and the United players are extremely disappointed with the manner and timing of Ronaldo's interview. Similarly, Liverpool legend and the Sky Sport commentator Jamie Carragher said that Manchester United fans will support the Red Devils coach Erik ten Hag over Cristiano Ronaldo. Reacting to a snippet of Ronaldo's interview that surfaced on social media last night, Carragher, who wrote on Twitter, said Ronaldo handled the situation badly, adding that 99% of the fans will be on Ten Hag's side. And on tennis, Rafael Nadal let his bid to finally land the first ATP final title of his career started with a defeat by American FC Taylor Fritz. The 36-year-old Spaniard, runner-up in 2010 and 2013, lost 7-6, 7-3, 6-1. Muhammad Sani Uba, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get connected on our website, freedomradionews.com, or call us through this number 02444163. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Corporate News on 99.5 FM. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, says subsidy on petrol is no longer sustainable. The National Operations Controller of IPMAN, Osatudi, has condemned payment of subsidy on petrol. Osatudi said today in Lagos that this is against the backdrop of the ongoing hike in the pump price of petrol in filling stations across the country. He said the federal government had 20.51 trillion naira expenditure in the 2023 budget against a revenue of 9.7 trillion naira, leaving a deficit of 10.78 trillion naira. Osaturi said the government helped finance subsidy on petrol up to June 2023 at a cost of 3.6 trillion naira, using Central Bank of Nigeria official rate of 435 to a dollar. He said at present, the CBN official rate is hovering around 444 naira to a dollar, which is above the 435 to a dollar projected in the 2023 budget. He said the subsidy regime had led to an increase in budget deficit and caused a worrying setback to the economy. And in business, we have Muhammad Abba Abdullahi with updates.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has pledged to protect Nigerians in the unbanked, underserved, and rural areas as it plans to redesign the Naira, according to a statement by CBN's Director of Corporate Communications, Osenta Nwanusobi, stated that the Apex Bank said it had been collaborating with relevant agencies and other stakeholders in the financial system to ensure that vulnerable citizens were not be disenfranchised. The bank added that some progress, as there had been increased currency deposit across banks and other financial institutions. Meanwhile, according to data, the rising inflation drove Nigerians' consumption expenditure to 57.08 trillion naira in the first half of 2022. According to the Nigerians' Gross Domestic Product report, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) said that this is a 14.39% increase from the 49.89 trillion naira that was spent in the corresponding period of 2021. The NBS stated that household final consumption grew by 6.94% and 17.64% in first quarter and second quarter of 2022, respectively, on a year-on-year basis in real terms. It added that the growth rates were lower compared to those of the corresponding quarters of 2021, which recorded 47.16% and 42.40%, respectively. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on history on this day, 14th November 2016, former Sultan of Sokoto Ibrahim Dasuki died. Charting Mark has more on this.
Ibrahim Dessouky was the 18th Sultan of Sokoto. The deceased, who is the father to former National Security Advisor Sambu Dessouky, died in a private hospital in Abuja. The ex-Sultan died at the age of 93. He was deposed as Sultan by former military ruler Sani Abacha in 1996. Prior to becoming Sultan, he held the traditional title of Baladen Sokoto. Dessouky was close associate of Ahmad, the late Saradona of Sokoto, and was also a friend. Dessouky was also influential in the founding of Jamaatul Nasri Islam. He was buried according to Islamic rites. Here in Mark, Freedom Radio.
And number four tomorrow's weather forecast in some cities in Nigeria and parts of Niger Republic. Here's the report.
Kano tomorrow morning is expected to have cloudy sky and light winds at an average temperature of 14 degrees Celsius and later 10 to 21 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Katsina will experience a clear sky and light winds at an average temperature of 16 degrees Celsius and later 10 to 22 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Kaduna will have a clear sky and light winds at 17 degrees Celsius and later change to 23 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Abuja is expected to have a clear sky and light winds at 20 degrees Celsius and later change to 26 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and light winds. Lagos will have a clear sky and light winds at 25 degrees Celsius and later increase to 27 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and light wind. Moving to Niger Republic, Maradi is expected to have a clear sky and a gentle breeze at an average temperature of 17 degrees Celsius and later increase to 23 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a moderate breeze. While Zandar will have a clear sky and light winds at 19 degrees Celsius and later give way to 24 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. The feature to Adam Salu, Freedom Radio.
Another foreign senior President Joe Biden and Xi Jinping entered a landmark summit in Bali, Indonesia today after 3 hours of discussions aimed at avoiding conflict between the rival superpowers. Xi and Biden shook hands in front of the United States and Chinese flags before starting the long-awaited meeting on the resort island ahead of the Group of 20 summit, following months of tension over Taiwan and other issues. Biden, sitting across from Xi at facing tables, said that Beijing and Washington shares responsibility to show the world that they can manage their differences, prevent competition from becoming conflict. Xi, China's most powerful leader in decades, who is fresh from securing a norm-breaking third term, told Biden that the world has come to a crossroads. Xi told him that the world expects that China and the United States will properly handle the relationship. Despite the upbeat public statement, both nations are increasingly suspicious of each other, with the United States fearing that China has stepped up a timeline for seizing Taiwan. And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.